Hey, Sophia. How's my big sis doing? It's been ages.
Wow, is that Emma? No kidding. I feel like I've seen a ghost. It's not like you messaged me. Is everything okay?
I just saw your husband, Dan.
Really? Where?
We bumped into each other at the station while I was out shopping.
The train station? Well, that's strange. He said he was going out in the car today. He was at the train station?
Yep, he gave me a lift home. Isn't he just a darling? Will you tell him I said thanks?
Really? Okay. Got it. He's still out right now, but I'll let him know when he gets home.
We need to talk, sis. You didn't tell me your husband was loaded? My jaw almost hit the floor when I saw his luxury sports car. How much must that thing have cost him? I felt like an A-lister. I had no idea your husband was such a high roller.
I'd hardly call him a high roller.
Oh, come on, Sophia. You're just being modest. Even I know how expensive that car is, and I don't know jack about cars. I looked it up online, and apparently it's even popular with world leaders and celebrities. Not only that, but all his clothes and accessories were branded. He looked more like he was on his way to a modeling shoot than out running errands. He even wore a P-Pex watch. I had to stop myself drooling all over his upholstery.
He must be peacocking today. You just happened to run into him dressed like that is all. He doesn't always wear that stuff.
Even still, most people wouldn't be able to afford a single one of those things. And yet there he was, kitted out in a tailored suit and pranced from head to toe. I had no idea he was so rich.
He's really not.
You can drop the act now. I know he's a top exec at a major global company.
Huh? He told you that?
Why didn't you tell me? I knew he worked for a major company. But you never told me he was a top exec or this freaking loaded.
It didn't really seem appropriate to go discussing my husband's salary with you. You might be my sister, but that's private information. Besides, it would have probably sounded like I was bragging.
You're right, 'cause he's loaded. But I feel like I see you in a different light now. You backed yourself a keeper there, sis. How the hell did you do it?
It's not like I'm with him for his money or anything. Besides, he's the one who came onto me. I didn't really do anything. Saying I bagged him is putting it a bit strongly.
Wow, really? I wonder what he sees in you.
Who knows? He said it was love at first sight, so I guess he thinks I'm pretty.
No way. You have got to be kidding me. You? Pretty? Now I've heard it all. I was always a better looking sister.
Oh, look. It's barely been a few minutes and you already reminded me of why we never speak. I see you're just as shallow, materialistic, and unpleasant as you ever were, Emma.
Okay, fine. I deserve that. Let me rephrase. It's not that you're not pretty, but you are unfriendly. You give off those scary don't approach me vibes. Guys probably find you hard to engage with 'cause you seem so cold and hostile.
Thanks for your opinion, Emma, but I never asked for it. Besides, there are all sorts of guys out there. And I can assure you, there are plenty out there who don't find me hard to approach at all. There are tons of guys who prefer girls like me. You seem to think you're God's gift to men. But I promise you, your whole ditzy airhead thing doesn't float everyone's boat. There are just as many guys who'd sooner have nothing to do with you.
You sure? I know, sis. I think a guy would have to be blind not to want me. Men are simple creatures, and I know just how to push their buttons.
You really are mind-blowingly confident, huh? Where do these ungodly levels of inexplicable self-assuredness even come from?
That's easy. I know I'm hot stuff, 'cause I'm a hit with the guys, and I always have been. If you spent your entire life getting hit on by guys and being told you're gorgeous, cute, pretty, and amazing every 5 minutes. You'd be confident too.
Whatever.
Anyway, forget all that. The reason I messaged you today is because I want you to introduce me to some of your husband's pals. Ideally, they should be as rich as him, or richer. He must rub shoulders with the upper crust if he can afford to drive a car like that.
I'm not sure if there's anyone I can introduce you to. Dan doesn't have that many friends. He's a private guy and keeps to himself.
Like a lone wolf? God, that's such a turn on.
I wouldn't call him a lone wolf. He's just shy and introverted. The few friends he does have are already married. Or already have girlfriends. I honestly can't think of a single person I could introduce you to.
Surely he must have at least one friend who'd be open to an affair. Or someone whose relationship's on the rocks and seems ready to break up at any minute. That'd be perfect! I could sweep in and make my move when they're vulnerable. Hey sis, mind if I come over to your house sometime soon? I want to ask Dan directly if he'll introduce me to some of his friends. There's a chance you don't know them at all, right? My Mr. Right could be out there waiting for me as we speak.
Sure, you're welcome to come over. I'll be in touch when my schedule's open.
Thanks, sis!
I gotta say, I'm really surprised. I never thought you'd be this interested in my husband. You didn't seem to care at all when we got married.
Why would I? Who you got married to had nothing to do with me. Especially since I was convinced you'd pick some run-of-the-mill cubicle slave.
Ugh, why must you be this way, Emma? You really haven't changed at all.
But I changed my mind. I'm gonna make more of an effort to get along with your hubby from now on. I'm counting on you for the introduction. Rack your brains, 'cause I want the highest spec guy you can find. Sophia? Hello? You said you were gonna invite me over to speak to Dan? Well, I'm ready, now. What's taking so long? Hurry up and tell me when he'll be home.
Hold your horses, Emma. I can tell you're eager to see him, but I'm very busy. I can hardly just free up my schedule at the drop of a hat.
Can you do tomorrow? I've nothing but free time these days.
No, sorry. I won't be home, so tomorrow's no good.
Why won't you be home?
I'm going away on business.
Oh, you are? Does that mean you won't be coming back at all tomorrow?
Yep, I'm flying out to New York. I'll be gone for 3 nights and 4 days.
You get to go on business trips to New York? Jesus, where was my invite? I'm jealous. The weather's really nice up there at this time of year. I've always wanted to see the Empire State Building.
This is business, not pleasure. I'll have too much on my plate to go sightseeing. The schedule's about as tight as they come.
But you're still gonna fly out and stay in a hotel, right? Why do you get to enjoy that holiday feeling and I'm stuck here with nothing to do? It's not fair.
It might sound like fun on paper, but believe me, no one enjoys 12 hours of consecutive negotiations with a bunch of uptight, crusty old businessmen. Last time I did one of these, I was so fried I passed out on the hotel bed as soon as I got back.
Wait a sec. Does this mean Dan's gonna be on his own at your house while you're away? What will he do for food?
I'm not sure. But since he's hopelessly incapable of cooking for himself, he'll probably end up getting takeout.
Takeout every day for 4 days? Oh, that's sad. I feel bad for him.
He eats more takeout in a week than most people do in a year. He's used to it. You really don't need to worry. I enjoy takeout myself. I'd say we eat it more than most. It's cheap, tasty, and you get to save time on cooking and cleaning.
Don't you cook your own meals?
I'm so busy with work, it's hard. I have almost no time to dedicate to the house. I don't enjoy cooking that much either. Kind of feels like a chore. That's why we hire a maid to take care of that kind of thing.
You mean you don't do any housework at all?
I do sometimes. But in general, I can't get away from work for long enough to do anything. That's why we hired the maid.
Wow. I feel bad for Dan. Doesn't really seem like you love him. It's a wife's job to show her man she appreciates him by cooking and cleaning and taking care of the house. And yet, there you are jetting off to New York like some big wig businessman.
I can assure you Dan's just fine with how things are. He understands my situation and is very accepting of it.
Don't you feel like you're letting him down as a wife? He might not say it because he's nice, but I bet deep down he wants you to act like a woman by cooking and cleaning for him.
I'm sure he doesn't. I told him countless times that if he ever gets bored of takeout, then he's welcome to learn how to cook. He just doesn't seem that interested. He's more couch potato than get up and go. Anyway, what even is this, Emma? We haven't spoken in years, and you don't even know him. Yet here you are, coming at me with all this crap all of a sudden. Give me a break, would ya? He seems happy enough with how things are, and even if he wasn't, it's none of your business. We didn't ask for advice, and we don't want it.
What's wrong, Sophia? Did I touch a nerve? Look, you're obviously only getting defensive because you know I'm right. Imagine your own wife telling you to cook for yourself. Maybe he's putting on a brave face to avoid the rocking boat. But I bet deep down he's going through a world of hurt.
You really think so? Forget I asked you that. I'm not dignifying this crap. I don't have time to do stuff around the house, and it's as simple as that. I couldn't change it even if I wanted to.
Sophia, listen. I'm only telling you this because you're my sister and I love you. But you're not fulfilling your duties as a woman. Your marriage may as well have two men in it. I get that being a strong, independent woman is trendy in this day and age, but we haven't changed since caveman times. Most guys are simple. All they want is a feminine woman who cooks, cleans, and takes care of them.
We're not doing this anymore, Emma. You manage your affairs, I'll manage mine. My husband doesn't want me to be his personal maidservant. We're fine as we are.
Why do you even work so much in the first place? I bet you can afford to be a stay-at-home housewife, but for some reason you seem dead set on jetting it up around the world playing hotshot businesswoman.
I don't want to be a stay-at-home housewife. I like my job.
Ugh, your husband must be earning at least 6 figures. You know you could afford to quit to take care of him in the house. How much money can you even be earning as a woman anyway? There's a reason there's a pay gap, sis. Men are just better suited to work. What's the point in you having a job? You could probably quit today and still live comfortably for the rest of your life, 'cause of how rich Dan is.
Wow. You stupefy me. My work gives me purpose in life. It makes me happy, fulfilled, and like I'm contributing to the world. Is that okay with you? Why should I have to throw all that away to be Dan's babysitter?
Gross. Women shouldn't find their purpose in life through work. Everyone knows the only way for a woman to find true happiness is to marry a rich guy, become a stay-at-home housewife, and give him lots of babies.
I'm sorry to see you haven't evolved at all since the Stone Age, Emma. I think we'll have to agree to disagree on this one. I enjoy being independent.
You know, it's sad how deluded you are. You probably think your company needs you. But something tells me they wouldn't even notice if you randomly stopped showing up one day. Everyone knows female employees are useless. The only reason there are so many of you these days is because all of these dumb feminist quotas. If you had to get by on merit like the guys do, you probably wouldn't have a job.
I really couldn't disagree more. But the real question here is, do I really want to get dragged into this kind of discussion? A great man once said, the amount of energy needed to refute bullshit is an order of magnitude bigger than that needed to produce it. And I'm inclined to agree.
It's cool, sis. You can bury your head in the sand if you like. But I'ma carry on educating you all the same, 'cause I'm nice like that. Think about it. Any employer who takes on a woman Now there's a good chance she'll go on maternity leave at some point. That's why you're less valuable from the get-go.
I won't deny it. There probably are some companies who think like that. But the world is moving forward and things are changing. My company couldn't be more different.
So, let me get this straight. You think you're so special that the laws of nature and common sense don't apply to you? Ugh, this hurts to read. I feel so bad for your husband for being married to someone so selfish.
How am I selfish? Why should I have to quit a job that I love to be my husband's slave? That sounds way more selfish to me.
If you ask me, a woman's place is in the home, and her role is to support her man. That's what I'm gonna do when I find myself a decent husband.
That's great, Emma. Good for you. I hope you find happiness with a guy who sees the world in the same way you do. Then you can fulfill your dream of being a barefoot baby factory. Maybe if you're lucky, your husband will even buy you a nice big kitchen to live in. Me and you are not the same.
Are you making fun of me? You're right, we're not the same. You think you're so amazing because you get to jet around the world on fancy business trips and pretend you're a dude. You think you're better than me because I can't work, don't you?
I don't think that at all. Give it a rest already. You're paranoid.
You know what? I don't care. You can look down your nose at me all you like. I'll have the last laugh. I'll grow old surrounded by kids with my rich husband in my mansion. But you'll be alone, miserable, and childless because you spent your best years acting like a feminist superhero. You're gonna be a cat lady if you don't change your ways soon.
Why so serious? Where is this crap even coming from? The last laugh? This isn't a competition, Emma. Good God, I don't even know what to say to you anymore.
Sophia, how's work?
It's going great. I'll make it back from my business trip on schedule at this rate.
So you're gonna be home tomorrow?
Yep. As long as nothing unexpected happens.
I see. That's a shame. Don't bother coming back.
Huh? Why would you say that?
'Cause you don't have a home to come back to. Me and Dan decided I'm gonna move in with him. You're not welcome in this house anymore.
What the hell are you talking about?
You still don't get it? Let me spell it out. Your husband belongs to me now.
I still don't understand why you'd think that. Are you gonna explain or not?
I came to look after your husband while you're away on business. I did all the cooking and cleaning for him. He loved it. Plus, I saw to it that his nighttime needs were properly satisfied while I was at it. If you catch my drift, he loved that even more.
You screwed my husband while I was away on business? Who the hell do you think you are? You have no right to be at our house.
What did you expect? I felt so bad for Dan. You made it obvious you didn't want him to be happy. So I came over and spoiled him rotten. He said he prefers me to you.
Wow. So that's how it is, huh? He chose you?
Bingo! Sorry for stealing your man. Don't worry though, sis. This will all be over quickly. He already filed the divorce papers.
How is that possible when I didn't sign anything? The hell, did he forge my signature?
Maybe. But you guys were gonna divorce anyway. May as well speed up the process. They didn't notice when he handed them in, so what's the problem? More importantly, we're already engaged.
What? You and Dan already got engaged?
We didn't want to put up with you whining at us, trying to change your minds. So we figured we should do it sooner rather than later.
I see.
What's wrong, sis? Don't tell me you're surprised. You can hardly complain. This would never have happened if you just did your job as his wife.
I did my best in my own way.
Well, your best wasn't good enough. Seems like guys prefer girls like me, after all. Anyways, I have a life of luxury to plan with my rich fiancé, so I'll let you go cry now. Sorry for stealing such an amazing guy from you, but please remember this wasn't my fault. You only have yourself to blame. I'll be taking your house and your man. Okay, sis?
You're welcome to him. But you should know, he's unemployed.
Huh? Unemployed? What do you mean?
I mean my husband doesn't have a job.
What are you talking about? He told me he's a top exec at a major global company. I get it. This is some kind of desperate ploy to try and get him back, isn't it?
I'm sorry to have to be the one to break this to you, but he lied.
Huh? Lied about what?
Sure, he did used to work for a major global company, but he got fired 2 years ago when he punched his boss in the face for refusing to give him a pay raise. He's been jobless ever since.
Lies, you're lying. Liar, liar, pants on fire. I know you're lying, because he wouldn't be able to afford his sports car or all those fancy clothes if he didn't have a job.
There's a very simple explanation for that. I paid for them.
What? No way. The luxury sports car, the tailored suits, the branded accessories. He rocks a freaking P-Pax watch, for crying out loud. You're saying you bought him all that stuff?
Some of it is from back when he had a job, so I can't say I bought him everything. But he's not the one who's a top executive at a major global company. I am. He was living it large on my paycheck. That's all.
I can't believe. I don't believe you for 1 second. What is this? Some desperate attempt to get revenge on me for stealing your husband?
It makes no difference whether you believe me or not. But I think you'll find out for yourself how poor he is before long. He won't even be able to afford the rent without me. That shouldn't matter, though. He has you to take care of him now. Right? You're just gonna be his babysitter. You're gonna be paying all of his bills and living expenses on top of it. Sure, maybe it is a little more than you bargained for. But I think you'll be fine. You are super committed to being the perfect wife after all.
Why would he lie to me? If he doesn't have a job, he should have just told me.
You really think it's something he goes blabbing to people about? His pride wouldn't be able to handle it. He told me never to tell anyone, no matter what. He might be at rock bottom with barely a cent to his name. But it was of utmost importance to him that people still thought he had lots of money.
Does that mean he tricked me?
It's only natural he wanted to show off even more in the presence of a pretty girl. I'm sure the lie got inflated to epic proportions for your sake. How many extra sports cars did he tell you were out for repair at the garage? To tell you the truth, I was getting sick and tired of keeping up the facade. But I knew that if I suggested we start telling people the truth, he might lose it again. So I didn't bother.
Lose it?
Last time I told him I felt uncomfortable about lying to literally everyone we know. He completely flew off the handle. It's like he was possessed by a demon. I've never seen him so angry. He trashed pretty much the entire house while screaming, "I am not poor." The aftermath was unbelievable. It was like a hurricane had hit us. Ever since then, I kept quiet and went along with the lie because I didn't want any more trouble.
What the hell? He flips out like that when you tell him something he doesn't want to hear?
Exactly. That's why I found it so hard to raise the issue of divorce. I've wanted out for a long time now, but I was terrified of what he might do. To tell you the truth, I felt trapped. I can't tell you how grateful I am for you taking such a vile man out of my hands. You even took care of the divorce for me. You're the best, sis.
Sophia, are you there? I just tried to ask Dad about him being unemployed, but the moment I did, he called me a traitor and tried to do a flying kick on me. Luckily, I was able to touch it and hightail it out of their house. But what the hell is wrong with this guy? He's insane!
I hate to say I told you so, but this is your fault for not listening to me. I saw this coming from a mile off.
Where are you? Why didn't you come home yet? I must have tried calling you over 50 times. Surely your business trip is over by now.
You told me not to come back to the house. Did you forget? You told me I'm not welcome there anymore. Did you forget that too?
Fine, I take it all back. I didn't mean that stuff. You can have Dan back. I don't want him anymore. I can't live in this house with him. He's dangerous.
I'll pass, thanks. I don't want him either. Besides, didn't you guys very kindly file for our divorce? That makes us strangers now. He's not my problem anymore.
Fine, I'll divorce him then.
You're free to do as you please. I'd be surprised if he went along with it willingly, though.
Whatever. I'll just forget his signature like we did before. I don't need his permission, and I'm not freaking asking for it if it means him flying across the room at me like a deranged ninja again. This is scary. I want out.
It's amazing how casually you talk about faking signatures. You do know that's illegal, right? It's called forgery, and you can go to jail for it. If you do, I'll have no choice but to call the cops on you.
Why the heck would you call the cops on your own sister? How does me wanting out of this insane situation have anything to do with you?
How can I stay quiet when someone tells me they're about to commit a crime and then does it right before my eyes? If you got caught and the cops saw these chat logs for some reason, I'd be liable too. Besides, don't you think you're being a little insensitive to Dan? You made him think he was about to get his own personal maidservant. And now you're dumping him because you found out he's broke. The poor guy just can't catch a break. It's no wonder he tried to ninja kick you.
I got this all wrong. I'll apologize to him. Anyway, how can you give me crap for breaking up with him when you said you wanted out for ages yourself?
Because you stole my husband. Because you take pleasure in making a fool out of me. Just like you always have. You pissed me off. And now you're gonna pay the price.
I'm sorry. I'll never make a fool of you again, sis, I swear.
I could care less about divorcing Dan. In fact, like I said, you actually did me a favor. But you didn't know that. And the fact that you went out of your way to steal him just to hurt me makes me livid. I want to see you suffer as much as possible. I won't be satisfied until you hit rock bottom. So you better brace yourself for what's coming.
Oh my god. Sophia, please don't be like this. I'm sorry. I can't do this, please. All I can do is cook and clean. How am I supposed to bring enough money to provide for this deadweight, sponging psychopath? I don't have access to the same financial resources as you.
Just go into debt.
You make it sound so simple. How am I supposed to pay it back?
Not my problem. You need to hurry up and get out of that house ASAP. I already canceled the contract. The rent's paid until the end of next month. But I wouldn't want to be you if you're not gone by then. I mean, I wouldn't want to be you anyway. But I think that goes without saying.
What about you? What are you gonna do? Where are you staying right now?
I'm staying in a hotel for now. I hired some removal guys to head over to the house and collect my things. So you can probably expect to see them soon. Everything's easier when you have money.
No fair! Why should you get to live life on easy mode while I suffer?
How is it unfair?
'Cause you're the only one who gains anything from this! You get to wash your hands of this lunatic I'm engaged to, and you have all that money! It's not fair!
Fair? You must be joking. I worked my ass off since I was a teenager to be where I am today. When everyone else was out partying and hanging out with their friends, I was at home reading textbooks. How many sleepless nights? How many late night study sessions? How many appointments with friends do you think I had to cancel to get into Harvard? And to end up at the company I am at now? I can tell you, it didn't come easy. While you were out with a different guy every week, I was sat on my own in my bedroom, revising study material and doing mock exams. Fairness has nothing to do with it.
Still, I can't go along with what's happening right now. Why won't Dan work? I know he got fired, but surely he can find something else if he was talented enough to get hired by a company like that in the first place.
If I had to guess, I'd say he probably doesn't want to work anymore. Or rather, his pride is getting in his way. The chances of him landing something at a company like this one again are slim. So I think that instead of accepting a pay cut, he'd rather just not try. I lost count of how many times I told him to start looking for work. But it went in one ear and out the other. I gave up eventually. Good luck babysitting him.
No, I can't do this. I just wanted to be a stay-at-home housewife. Why should I have to look after this man-child?
You can still be a housewife with a part-time job.
I said stay at home! I was supposed to marry a rich guy and live in luxury. I can't be married to some jobless loser.
How can you say that? Oh, you're so mean, Emma. Don't you feel bad for him at all? Surely the reason you stole him in the first place was because you thought you and him were a good fit. I think you should work a little harder on trying to make your marriage work, instead of throwing it away at the first sign of trouble. I thought it was a wife's job to support her husband. I gladly turned a blind eye to the forging of our divorce papers and let it go through unhindered. I never went back to the house after that. Finally free from my mentally unstable ex-husband, I immediately moved into a fancy new apartment and started enjoying my new stress-free single life. However, Dan was less accepting of the situation, and he tried contacting me countless times. The calls always came from different numbers, which made them hard to block, so eventually I changed my number to be rid of him once and for all. My sister may have tricked him into divorcing me, but no matter how hard she tries, she'll never make as much money as I do. Sure, she can do housework, but Dan doesn't need a maid. He needs someone who can pay the rent and put food on the table. And a shrink, of course. Without me, he doesn't have a hope in hell's chance of maintaining his old life of luxury. Actually, forget extravagance. He'll be lucky if he can even afford a loaf of bread at this rate. It seems like he realized what a moron he'd been when he got evicted from the house. Sadly for him, it was a little too late, and no matter how desperately he begged me to take him back, my resolve didn't waver for a second. I heard that he forced my sister to get a job, while, just as before, stubbornly refused to look for work himself. Rather than letting go of his luxurious lifestyle, he went into debt to maintain the facade that he was an affluent, productive member of society. I know how manipulative he can be, and I have a pretty good idea of how trapped Emma must be feeling right about now. She's probably working as if her life depends on it. That said, they can't go on like this, and it's probably only a matter of time before things fall apart between them. That's not my problem, though. I feel like a weight has been lifted from my shoulders. and things have never been better. I only have one priority right now, and that's enjoying my life on my terms.